I am calling out all of my girly girl shabby chic vintage crafting friends, because in this episode we are going to be making beautiful vintage shabby chic projects using Dollar Tree supplies. So come along with me and let's create something beautiful for our homes. The Dollar Tree has some of these wooden blocks, and I wanted to make a darling shabby chic tic-tac-toe decor piece. It's super simple to make. We're going to take the blocks and we're going to paint them a beautiful creamy tan color. Once you've got all of the sides painted and they're completely dry, go ahead and pick your favorite sides of it, because I only did one coat of paint. That's why I'm saying that. You could go over it 2 or 3 times, but to speed up and make this process quicker, I only went around once on each side because I wanted to see the wood grain as well. I picked my favorite sides, and then I did a little bit of distressing, knowing that was the side I was going to be showing with the artwork on the front of the decor piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and just glue the 9 blocks together, 3 by 3. We're going to use a dollop of hot glue, and then as I put them together, I like to stand them on the table so I make sure they're even and they're straight. As I glue on the next layer, it can throw off the blocks. So I'm going to be gluing them 3 at a time, making sure they're straight, and then I put on the second row, if that makes sense. As I work my way up through all 3 rows, I'm making sure they are as straight as I possibly can, and then again, the fronts that I want to be having the artwork on them are facing forward. Here I am gluing on the last 3 for my stack, and now I can start decorating them. You can use whatever color you want, but I'm going to be going with a really pretty pink and black, and I'm going to start with my pink by doing 3 hearts up in a row as if the love was the winner of this tic-tac-toe game. So take your time. I started off with a smaller heart, and then I decided to make mine bigger. You're going to see I'm going to be playing with the size of the heart, and I keep getting a little bit bigger and bigger because I wanted, always start small and then you can work your way up in size. You can also use a pencil and sketch out the lines if you feel more comfortable doing that and you don't feel comfortable freehanding paint. It's whatever is easiest for you. Once I got the size that I wanted, I moved on to the other hearts. Now you can see I'm going up at a diagonal, and then the other 6 blocks are going to be X's. Now technically, we're big game players in my family. Technically, there should be 1 more pink heart, but it's cuter to just have the 3 hearts going across and then the 6 X's in the corners. If you want to get technical, you could put 1 more heart because it should technically be more hearts to be able to play the game, but that doesn't really matter. We're going with decor here. So whatever you feel comfortable with, that's what you do on your tic-tac-toe decor piece. This shabby chic inspired DIY is so easy to make, and it is so fun. We're going to be using some fabric, some batting to stuff our little thing we're going to be making, some greenery, a beaded garland wire, and some stamps from the Dollar Tree. Start by picking the color of the fabric you want. Since this is a shabby chic themed project, I'm going with pinks and creams. So my heart that I'm going to be cutting out is out of this beautiful baby pink fabric. Now the fabric, it's a little bit thinner than I would normally work with. So I'm going to double up some of the fabric, and you'll see in just a second how I'm going to do that. But I got a really good deal for this fabric, and why not use it? So I'm going to just fold a piece of fabric in half, and now I'm going to create the heart shape. Start with the bump at the top, coming around to a point at the bottom. Once you've got your shape for your heart, evaluate it, see if it's the right shape that you want. If it's not, close it back to the fold again, and then trim where you need to. This is where I'm going to thicken up the fabric, and I also really liked seeing a little border of cream on the back side of my heart. Once it all comes together, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down and then cut that out with about a 1/2 inch border going all the way around the heart. Once that is all cut out, this is going to help stiffen it up and make it a higher quality project. I'm going to move over to the other heart. This is the front of the heart, and I'm going to take this lace ribbon that I get from the Dollar Tree in their craft section. It's actually, I think, in their floral section. But I'm going to go around the heart, and where I get up to the bumps, the top of the heart, I'm going to pleat that ribbon so it comes around that edge nicely. When you come back around the side, you don't have to pleat as much. It's really more of a straight pull with a little bit of a curve. So pleat wherever you need to, and then when you get to the bottom of the heart, go ahead and cut off that extra ribbon that you don't need. Once I had that all lacy and so shabby chic, I am now going to glue the two hearts together. But we want to be able to stuff this mini heart. So I'm only going to put it at the bottom in that V shape of the heart. I'm going to bring those two pieces together, cream touching the inside of that lacy heart, and then I'm going to stuff it. I don't want it to be too full because I think when it's too full, it pulls too much on the sides of the fabric. So I'm just going to lightly stuff it. And this is going to be just the most darling decor piece to hang up somewhere in your home, or you can even add it to a wreath. You could hang it on a doorknob. You could hang it actually on the front of a door with a little hook. So many cute places you could put this. So now I'm using that beaded garland wire piece. You can see that I coiled up the ends. I glued that into the heart at the top of the bumps. I'm filling in the rest of the batting, and now I'm going to close up the center of the heart. Once I've got that all glued together and I don't burn myself, I like to take my time so we don't get burnt. Once it's all glued together and it looks the way you want it to look, now I'm going to bring in the vintage look to it. If you are new here to my channel and you've never heard of dry brushing before and you're new to crafting, dry brushing is where you keep your brush dry and add very little paint, where you're getting the color without the moisture. So I get a little bit of paint, I brush off most of it onto a napkin, and then I come in and I dry brush on top of the fabric. This is going to create that vintage rustic look. And then once we've got that, I put it to the side, I'm letting it dry a little bit, and I'm going to move on to my white fabric. I do a little snip and I pull down, going with the grain, the thread of the fabric. It allows it to rip straight, and it gives it a beautiful frayed shabby chic edge. Pull off any extra fibers that are in the way that you don't want. And now we're going to use these Dollar Tree stamps. Okay, friends, if you are a stamper, you're going to laugh when you open up this particular set. I used to actually design and sell my own stamps for a company I owned a few years back. And when I went to pull these out, I laughed because they are all together in one strip. Dollar Tree didn't cut the letters apart from one another, which it's kind of just like this weird design choice that they made. So they're making the customers cut them apart. It would have been something so easy that they could have just avoided, but they didn't. Nonetheless, the stamps are $1.25, so it's a great deal, and cutting them apart is not such a big deal. But here is a tip with their stamps. One of the most crucial things when you're working with acrylic stamps is that there is a film on the top of the stamp. If you don't know this, take some sandpaper, rough up the top, and then use the stamp. I know that sounds like you're going to ruin your stamp, but I promise you it's not. If you don't, the ink that you're working with will always have a splotchy look to it. Sanding it is going to allow the ink to bind to the stamp better. Once I stamped out the word love on it and it looks so cute, so vintage, I'm going to come on with some greenery to the front of the heart. Add whatever color you want. I'm going with creams and greens, so I stick to that shabby chic look. And then I'm now going to stick on my little banner that says love. I'm going to glue that into place, and at this point it's ready to be displayed in your home. So beautiful, so chic. I hope you enjoy this one. For this project, I'm going to be using a wooden heart, some scrapbook paper, and some letter stickers, and the very last of these boxes. Once upon a time, I bought so many of them, like in bulk, because I wanted to be able to make a whole bunch of cool apothecary cabinets. Anyway, this is the very last of them that I had. It was like so nostalgic pulling these out, knowing that I think I still have 2 more of these boxes left over. So I'm going to use them in this project, and we're going to make a darling Be Mine decor piece. I'm just gluing together 4 at the base of these squares and then 2 at the top, and we're going to stack them kind of like letter blocks, baby letter blocks. I thought this was just so sweet and so cute, and a great way to use these boxes if you have a ton of them. You could also use any of the blocks that they have at the Dollar Tree. They have so many options. I am now adding glue to the bottom and the edges on the inside, so when I put it on, that glue is going to drip down on to the other 4 based blocks, and it's going to really bind it all together, because I don't really trust just the edge of the glue. Anyway, once those 4 pieces were glued to the top of the 2 pieces, I'm now going to go pick out my paper. I'm going to be going with peachy creams, very shabby chic. I'm picking out a whole bunch of different patterns, and then I'm going to cut the paper down to fit the front of the box. The box was 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 because it's a square, and we're going to cover up those hole punches from the boxes that everybody was trying to figure out how to get rid of those. The box was so great, and I wish Dollar Tree didn't put those hole punches on the front of these wood boxes. So we're going to cover them up with the scrapbook paper. You're not even going to know they're there. I decided to rough it up to give it that shabby look with some sandpaper. And I love sanding scrapbook paper because it really does give a vintage look to it when the coloring of the paper fades away and you can see a little bit of the white undertone of it. And then I'm going to simply glue them on to the front of the box. Now at this point we could stop there and put our Be Mine stickers on it, but I can't help myself. And if this is going to be a shabby chic look, we've got to get some more hearts and some florals. So we're going to take it a little further, but please just know, take it as far as you want. You can use any pattern. If you're not a shabby chic person and you're just here today to support my channel and to be a friend, thank you for being here, by the way. I am so grateful for everyone who comes. Even if this isn't necessarily your style, know that the idea is so that you get the fun tips and tricks, and then you make it into whatever you want. You can use whatever colors you want. You can go way more vibrant with hot pinks and reds. You can go very neutral with a gray and black combo, wood grains, whatever you want. You could even stain the box in a wood grain deeper color. There are so many options. So I glued on those hearts, and you can see I use those little square blocks to help fortify that heart on there nice and firm so it doesn't fall off. We don't want to make things that are going to fall apart. I really like taking the time to show the steps so everything stays together when you make it. And then I'm going to move on to this extra heart. It was left over from a different project. It's the outer heart. There was another solid heart on the inside of it. I'm going to just trace it onto some scrapbook paper, cut that out, and glue it right on. And then, that's right, you guessed it, we're going to rough it up too. Because it's shabby chic. That's what we do with shabby chic, right? We gotta give it that vintage flair. So I'm gonna just take my sandpaper, come around, rough up the sides, and it looks so beautiful. Maybe this isn't your style, but it's so fun to try out different styles. Don't you think so? So I'm gonna glue that onto the back of the box so it has another little heart that's popping up, a little peekaboo heart on the back side, something cute and pretty. And then now we've got this empty space in the middle right between those two hearts. We're going to fill that with some florals. Before I do that, let's put on our letter stickers, Be Mine. And this is so easy. They actually sell letter stickers, rub-ons at the Dollar Tree. These letter stickers are ones that I've just had on hand forever. They're by American Crafts from a long time ago. I have a lot of scrapbook supplies. If you were into scrapbooking, I'm sure you have a lot of scrapbook supplies too. This is a great opportunity to break out the paper and those stickers that we have all been hoarding for way too long. So use them on decor, why not? All right, now in between those two hearts, this is where we're gonna get fun and do whatever you want. So I'm gonna put down a little half dome, half circle of foam, cover it with some moss because we don't wanna see the foam, that's not pretty. But then we're going to come in with whatever florals you want. Please have fun with this part. Use things that you have on hand. Honestly, I didn't have to buy anything for this project because I had all these little scraps of decor pieces sitting around in my craft room. So these are all just a whole bunch of random things that I brought together to make these adorable stacking blocks that say Be Mine. And then I had a bow sitting around that I hadn't used, so I decided to glue that on to the front of the heart. And that completes our Be Mine decor piece, all using scraps of leftover things I've had in my room, and it felt so good to use these supplies and to give them purpose. And now I get to decorate my home with it. Really cute. Oh friends, I'm so grateful you showed up with me today to come here and visit in my craft room. Thank you all so much for being here. You really all mean so much to me. I love sharing in this hobby with all of you. If you haven't yet, please do give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new, welcome. Click the subscribe button so you don't miss any new upcoming videos. I am trying to come out with a whole bunch of new content with this new year. Happy New Year to all of you. And thank you everyone who has left comments over this last couple of videos. It means so much to me. Now I'm going to recommend this video if you missed it. It came out just a couple days ago. Thanks so much for being here. And until the next episode, bye friends.